Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting of the Tewksbury Conservation Commission to order. It's May 1st, 2019. Can I get an approval of minutes for April 17th, 2019? Can I get a motion to that effect?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, could I interrupt you for
Sure.
1 second? Can we go through the continuances before, so there's not people waiting out here for something?
That sounds great. So it looks like it's items A, B, and D. Is that what I see?
Correct.
Okay. So quickly, I'm just going to run through some of the items that are continued to the next meeting so that if you're here for that, we can send you on your way and we won't take up too much of your time. The first item is a notice of intent public hearing for John Faneros, BTGOG LLC, 2131 Main Street, map 96, lot 53, DEP number 305-1070. The applicant is requesting to continue that to May 15th. Can I get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The second item is a public hearing, notice of intent for Richard Montori, Town Manager, 984 Main Street, map and lots 47 through 79, 47 through 80, 48 through 81, and 48 through 93, DEP number 305-1073. That applicant is also requesting to continue to May 15th. Can I get a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And the last item to be continued is a public hearing, notice of intent for John Faneros, ACC Realty, 1037 North Street, and 1547, 1553, 1563 Andover Street, map 39, lots 45 through 48, DEP number 305-1077. Can I get a motion for that continuance?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just interject here for a second.
Sure.
Any votes that are taken tonight, it has to be unanimous, because there's only 3 of us.
That's great. Okay, the next item is a public hearing, notice of intent, Southern End Realty, 1420 Andover Street, map 39, lot 10, DEP number 305-1076. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Could we get your name for the record as well?
Absolutely. For the record, my name is Matt Hammer. This evening, who owns the property. Essentially, he's planning on developing the 2 existing single homes on the property, and we're adding 1 additional lot, and I'll walk you through that. So right now, 1420 Andover Street. Andover Street's here, and right now there's an existing single-family home here. Here, there's a driveway that comes in, it's a common driveway. Comes in here, extends past this house, comes over here, there's a paved area here, and there's an existing wetlands are located here. They were flagged by Norse Environmental in October of 2018. There's also a wetland area up here. It's kind of an odd location for two wetlands that aren't necessarily, they're not hydraulically connected. This wetland actually sheds off into this area here. This wetland is part of this piece of property owned by the town of Tewksbury. Gone out and conducted a couple test pits that show up on the existing conditions plan. Those test pits were conducted in the area we're proposing. All of this is essentially cleared land. There's some wooded area here, lightly wooded area here. There's a bunch of concrete frost walls here. I know that actually speaking with some of the neighbors after the planning board meeting, there used to be some greenhouses there. Parcel is approximately 3 acres in size. This is Sawyer's Lane behind the rear of the property. All the grading sheds essentially in this direction here and then down to the wetland. And this is a driveway that's there. So we've been in front of the planning board right now for a special permit in order to improve this common driveway, essentially to add one additional lot here. Originally, we were going to leave the existing house, and it was preferred by the planning board as well as some of the abutters to replace the existing house where this old house was located. House on this lot here. So the project is to expand the entrance of the drive so that we have a full width of 24 feet at the entrance so that when a car is exiting, a car can enter. I know it's outside of the buffer zone and everything, but you know it's important to note that we're doing some work here, which is near the wetlands, but not in the 100-foot buffer. We're going to, it was preferred not to have parked cars along this section here. We're going to continue to have that remain as a turn-off area. If there's two cars that have trouble navigating their way by each other, we'll have a little turn-off area. But we're going to do a proposed drive in an entrance circle in front of this existing home, which is being fully renovated. This paved area will actually have a depression in the center of it, so all the drainage can go into this depressed area. The roadway is going to be repaved and sheet flowed to the side in order for it to be picked up by a grass channel, as well as a level spreader along the entire length of this drive. That water will be brought to this shallow detention basin area here. And then it will, which will have a 4-bay to an overflow riprap weir here to a small basin to an overflow outlet structure, which would be located here. This work we're proposing is outside of the 25-foot no disturb zone. I should note that there's right now a solid stone wall here runs the entire length of the property that provides a division between driveway and the wetland area.
So this is a driveway, it's not a street?
That's correct.
Okay.
Common driveway. So the way we do that, if you're not familiar, you may be very well familiar with it. In Tewksbury, they commonly do 2 or 3 lot common driveways instead of developing a full public road. So it'll be private. So what we do is we lay out the right-of-way. Stop me if I'm talking too much here. So the way that it's done, if you remember East Street that we did not that long ago, which was a common driveway, we had 2 houses in the back that were adjacent to the wetlands. Similar in that you lay out the right-of-way. The planning board will grant waivers to the full construction of a public road. And then we reduce all of the infrastructure. It becomes a low-impact development where we have a narrow roadway. We'll do sheet flow to drainage swales like country drainage. And it allows us to build a drive to access the 2 homes.
So it's going to remain private?
That's correct.
And has they determined the lots, you want 3 lots? Right now, it's currently 1 lot, I'm assuming?
2.
It's 2?
Yeah.
And you got 3, did you get the approval for the 3rd?
We're in the process of getting that approval.
Okay. Good.
So you see the drive showing up here, it's completely within this right-of-way. We're essentially just improving that existing drive, treating all that water, and now all that water that was currently not being treated will now be treated before it eventually gets to that wetland area. I like to note, I know one of the comments was about, reviewing with a sub-consultant and everything. This project's being fully reviewed by the town engineering department, as well as the Department of Public Works. Going back to the drainage, houses, each of them themselves will have their own separate filtration system for the roof runoff. And those infiltration systems are located here. One here, and this one here. And then this also overflows to a detention basin area. What happens here too is we need to provide an emergency turnaround for a fire truck, so that alters the configuration of the end of the common drive such that we have to drain it in such a way that we can accommodate that fire truck apparatus. This flow here coming off of the paved driveway to this house. Sheet flows off to this level spreader in this grass swale to the same. We've done a full stormwater report for the project. Which is a net decrease in flow off the property required to do. And again, we're working with the engineering department to work through this design of this common driveway and the other associated elements with the development, which would be doing a low pressure force main for the sewer for the houses. underground utilities.
You're gonna have municipal sewer too, right?
Yes, that's the yellow. There's a termination sewer manhole that we're utilizing that's here off of Andover Street. There's an existing stub. Putting in a new sewer manhole here to accept all the sewer. To the existing I did go on the DP's website, and they didn't issue any technical comments. I know that there are technical comments that are still being drafted by the town as part of the special permit process. And typically, we would go through that town process before we would come to conservation, but it was recommended conservation filing concurrently in case there are slight modifications. Happens within this, with your purview, the plans for this. As I said, we're going to take this house here. It's a we're going to take that entire house down. I don't know if anyone's I don't know how many loads of
12 dumpsters so far.
12 dumpsters of debris have been taken out of the property. And it was all over the place. All over here, just strewn about. To remove the entire house and everything. That actually increases a buffer behind the Downs residence here by taking this existing house out and moving it over to here, and actually moving it over to where this existing drive already lines up already. So we're lining up where that drive comes up, where this proposed house is located.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to be heard on this matter before we come back to the board? I see no one rising.
There are abutters here, I know.
Okay.
We've been trying to be as open and talking to the abutters and working with the abutters the best we can. Any concerns they have.
Stefania, I'll turn it over to you first.
Yeah, so I did have some comments that I did share with the applicant. A lot of it has to do with the work that's in the no disturb zone, and I know that there's probably already existing disturbance in the no disturb zone. So it would be nice to get something that clearly shows that. So that shows the disturbance that's there today and then the proposed disturbance after the project. It's just not clear to me when I look at the plans.
I just like to put as much as we can on a plan to save paper. I think the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the utilities off of the grading plan to help clear that up a little bit, because I noticed we have a utility plan. I don't, those don't necessarily need to be on the plan. Not that we tried. All of this work that we're proposing outside of the 25-foot
Okay.
no disturb zone, but we can quantify that in terms of square footages of what's in.
Yeah, just maybe some way to show it more clearly.
Sure.
And something, so the erosion control line is proposed at the stone wall. It should be proposed at the limit of work, and the no disturb zone should be the limit of work where able. I know that in some spots it's going to be a little bit closer because there's already disturbance there.
Yeah,
But,
we can most certainly move this right to the edge of the,
right,
that's fine.
Yeah.
We just felt if we just put it down at the stone
Yeah.
wall, because it's kind of clear there, but
and then
it
it,
actually goes up a little bit in grade.
yeah, and then it just gets unclear during construction of where they're supposed to stop. So that's why I just recommend that should be the limit of work.
That's not a problem.
And then I just think this would be a good time to restore any part of the no disturb zone if we can.
That little orange area. Yeah, we could, vegetate that orange area, which is that 25-foot no disturb. That's not a problem.
Thanks, Stefania. Is that the only comments you had?
Just the last comment about the review, so that, I'll leave that up to the commission, what they want to do. If they're not going to have a wetland consultant review the project, then I'd like to just go out maybe with Norse and walk the wetland line
Sure.
with them.
Okay. Mr. Shan, do you have any comments?
I'm all set.
Mr. Holland?
I have no comments other than, again, just to reiterate, this hasn't been subdivided yet.
That's correct.
Okay, it's good. I believe we're going to have to continue it, of course.
That's
and
fine.
Until it is subdivided, because that changes things.
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll arrange a site walk with Stefania, with
Right.
Norse Environmental. We'll make a plan change and incorporate that into stuff that's going back and forth with the engineering department anyways. We'll reissue a plan once engineering has finalized their review. Get it back to the board. If, presumably if things go well during the site walk, then we would just table until we receive approval from the planning board, and then just go to that next meeting.
Need the approval from the planning board, because
Yeah.
if they change something, then everything else changes, so.
Oh, I know, that's, because you're right, Mr. Holland, because,
Right.
Wetlands Protection Act wants us to obtain all the other permits first before even filing the notice of intent. But just because our whole road went along the wetlands and it was recommended, that's why we filed, so.
Okay. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to continue. Is there a particular, when is your next planning board meeting?
Well, we can just continue for, yeah, so, yeah, we could,
May 15th is our next meeting.
yeah, we could continue to May 15 if there's an issue, like a week ahead of time. I'll write a letter to the commission just continuing
Okay,
that meeting if in fact we haven't closed out from the planning board.
all right. I'll make that motion to continue to the 15th
Okay.
of May.
And we'll include in the notice of intent some of the explicit things that we're looking here for the new restoration plan in
Yep.
that area that we agreed to. And then that limit of work is at that stone wall, all those things that we discussed, is that,
Well, we're going to move the erosion control to the limit of work.
Okay.
So that it's not at the stone.
at the stone,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
And I can understand that, a contractor might be like, well, you can disturb over to the erosion
It
control.
happens,
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that sounds great. So we have a motion to continue,
Correct, for the 15th
15?
of May.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
If you close it, then this part.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing request for determination of applicability, David Family Realty Trust, 90 Fraser Lane, map 25, lot 84.
Evening.
Hello, can I
How are
have
you?
your name for the record, please?
Sure. For the record, Dick Cuco from Woodland Design, representing the Davis family. The subject lot is at 90 Fraser Lane, and we were in last September to get a certificate of compliance on the property. At that time, the family realized that all of the equipment for the servicing the pool is outside and exposed to the elements, so they wanted to put a shed on top of that equipment. And it's an area that's already cleared, it's already lawned, it's not a new virgin area, it's just replacing lawn area. And the portion of the shed that extends over the 50-foot no-build is only 90 square feet, which is under the 120 square feet. So I had a quick meeting with Stefania, and I thought that a request for determination would be an appropriate venue here. What the applicant did, because they own the property next door, in order to lessen the impact, you see that little jog on the lot line. So we went to the planning board and we moved the lot line over so we could pull the shed back as far as we could to lessen the impact as much as possible. So that's where we're at. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
This is a public hearing. Is there anybody here to be heard on this? Okay, I see no one rising. Stefania, do you?
I don't
anything to
really
add?
have major concerns. I think just for consistency, if we could confirm it's less than 10% of the no-build zone, which it obviously is.
Yeah, I think it's under the 120 square feet, so I can just put a memo to you that I think it's 93.5 square feet.
Okay.
Or I could add it to the plan, whichever you think is, I'll wait till she comes back. Probably could just add it to the plan would be, or a memo, whichever you think would suffice best.
I think either is fine.
Yeah, all right. Well, that way, instead of changing the plan, I'll just draft you off a memo and I'll send it out tonight.
Mr. Sheehan, is there anything?
No, I'm good.
Mr. Holland?
I have nothing.
Okay, I have no concerns either, so, that's okay, I'm gonna-
So we need a motion for a negative determination? That motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a public hearing, request for determination of applicability, Trina Travaglia, 43 Kearsarge Street, map 100, lot 60. Sorry if I mangled your name.
No, I did not so bad. It's Trina Travaglia.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I'm here requesting determination of applicability for a addition on the back of the property that, my home, and a swimming pool, hopefully.
It's an addition?
It's actually a little bit of both. That it's currently a porch right now, a deck, but it's going to be an enclosed, three-seasoned sunroom sort of type thing. And then the larger box of it is the addition with the living area.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to be heard for this item? I see no one rising. Okay. Stefania, do you have any issues with this
No.
project?
The addition is outside of the 50-foot no-build zone, so I don't have any concerns. I'll just want to see the erosion controls before anything starts.
Okay.
Mr. Sheehan?
No, I have no problem at all.
Mr. Holland?
None.
Looks good to me, too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion for a negative determination?
So moved.
Oh, my apologies. I did that in the wrong order. Can I get a motion to close the public hearing first?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Sorry about that. And can I get a motion for a negative determination?
I'll make a motion for negative determination.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay. So what is it that I need to get, what is it I need to get to?
I'm sorry, what?
What is the last item? Do I need to get something else to you in addition?
No, just on the plans, you have a proposed erosion control. So before I sign off on any permits for construction, I'll have to take a look at those to make sure they're installed.
So get them installed first. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Next item on the agenda is a public hearing, notice of intent for Carlos and Luisa Oliveira, 22 Maplewood Road, map 54, lot 9. DEP number is pending. Hi, can I get your name for the record, please?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Andy Bajasic. I work with Dana F. Perkins. I'm joined tonight by Carlos Oliveira, homeowner and applicant at 22 Maplewood Road. And we're here tonight for a notice of intent for a building addition on an existing home. As you can see on the plan, there's an existing house located on the property already. There are existing wetlands located to the rear of the property that are associated with an existing intermittent stream. There's an existing sunroom located to the rear of the house that has been damaged by fallen trees. And so we're here tonight looking to demolish the sunroom and replace it with a slightly larger new sunroom. The new sunroom will be 12 by 22 versus the existing, which is 12 by 12.
Okay, is that all you have for us? Okay.
Yeah, and so the way the new sunroom is proposed, it'll be no closer to the wetlands than the existing one is.
Okay,
It
thank you.
runs lengthwise along the house, further away from the wetlands.
All right, this is a public hearing. Is there anybody to be heard on this matter? I don't see anyone here for that. Stefania, do you have anything to add to this?
Yes, so we should just confirm that it meets our no-build zone requirements and that it's not over the 10%. I know I had.
Yeah, so the way the property was delineated, the wetlands were just delineated in the area of the house.
Oh, okay.
As such, we can't really give you an accurate number.
Okay.
So we estimated, kind of based on the location of the intermittent stream, the area, and we fall under the 10%, just for the front half of the property. Now, the stream also continues up towards the rear of the property before exiting the site. So there's additional area up there that will also have a 25-foot and a 50-foot no-build zone. So we're pretty confident we meet the under 10%. We just don't have exact numbers at this point.
I do also want to add that it was a DEP number issued. So it's DEP number 305-1078.
Is that all you have, Stefania? Are you comfortable with that estimation?
Yes, I mean, it's a pretty large portion of the site is the no-build zone. So eyeballing it, it looks like it would be under the 10%. I would say that we would just want to see some erosion controls.
We're showing erosion controls along the 25-foot no disturb, just in the area of the addition. It really is just a simple remove and replace. There's not much work being proposed here other than tearing down the existing sunroom and building a new one. There's no extreme grading or anything. It's just really just replacing what's there.
Mr. Sheehan, do you have anything to add?
All the material is going to be hauled off-site, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Mr. Holland, any comments? That looks good, too, and I'm glad that we have a DEP number, so I'd like to make a motion or request that we close the public hearing. Yes.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And then I guess we've got a DEP number, so we can make a motion to approve the notice of intent with standard order of conditions. Is that agreeable? Okay. Can I get a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The next item on the agenda is a public hearing request for determination of applicability, Manny Property Holdings, LLC, 34 Long Meadow Drive, map 26, lot 33. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can I have your name for the record, please?
Sure, it's Steve Beatti. And as you stated, we're just looking for permission to propose an 8-foot by 10-foot deck to be built on the rear of the existing home at 34 Long Meadow. There's an existing concrete patio that's been there for a number of years, and we're just proposing to build an 8 by 10 deck with 2 sonotubes to support it. Yeah. That's kind of new at this, so if you have questions, if I'm leaving something out, I'd be happy to answer the questions you have.
There's no one here. This is a public hearing. I don't know. I guess no one's here to be heard on that matter. Stefania, have anything?
No, I don't have any concerns. It's out of the no disturb zone, so that's good.
Mr. Sheehan?
No, I'm good.
Mr. Holland?
I have nothing.
I was just curious, are you going to demo the patio underneath, or are you going to leave it?
We're going to probably leave it,
Yeah.
just, demo the section where we're going to put the sonotubes.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about pulling that stuff out of there, the broken up patio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There was an existing, stairwell there that is going to be raised, and that will be removed, all the material removed on that.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And looks like we're looking for a negative determination of applicability. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Next item on the agenda is an enforcement order update. Durcelio Belluccio, 170 Bradford Road, map 111, lot 57. Stefania.
So I provided some information on some site visits and then just a quick memo that went over some of the conditions in the enforcement order and what was done and what has not been done as of this time. So I went out in response to a complaint that I received that there was a trench being dug on the site and there was cement and other waste being buried on the site. So if everyone remembers, this was an enforcement order that we gave for fill within the buffer zone of bordering vegetated wetland, riverfront area, and then likely bordering land subject to flooding, and there was a few conditions that we had in the enforcement order. So as of this time, you can see that a lot of the fill has been removed. They've kind of removed it up to the estimated 100-foot buffer zone of the vegetated wetlands, and then it kind of slopes up, and it's about a 3 to 4 foot difference in grade from where he removed fill and where there's still fill on the site. So at this time, for me, it's really hard to tell if there's fill within the bordering land subject to flooding because I can't see that on site. That's something that you have to see on a plan, or an engineer could go out and mark that for him. It looks as though the fill is out of the vegetated wetland buffer zone, and then it's really hard to tell if anything was buried on site, like the complaint said. I mean, I just saw fill on the site, and there were some rocks in the fill, but I didn't see any large items buried in there. So I just wanted to give an update. At this time, the property owner is waiting to hear from the commission to see if he should stabilize or if the commission still wants him to figure out where the floodplain is and then remove more fill. So.
My suggestion would be to get it stabilized. It is growing season. So the big pile of loam is still there?
So it's not really a pile of loam. So if you go on site, what he did is he added a lot of fill to the site to kind of raise the grade up 3 to 4 feet so that he could have an even backyard. It used to just slope down to the river. And now it's an even backyard. And then right at the buffer zone, so the 100-foot buffer zone roughly, it's kind of a dramatic slope down 3 to 4 feet to the natural grade. So
It's within the 100 feet.
I mean, he didn't get the wetlands flagged, so I'm just kind of estimating where I think they might be. It looks as though he removed fill up to the 100 feet from the wetland. The only thing I can't tell if he removed it from the floodplain, so I won't be able to tell that.
So what are your suggestions?
Well, the original enforcement order, if you go back to that, so the last condition said to, the third condition said to get a wetland scientist to delineate the wetland resources on site. And then the last condition said to remove the fill from the buffer zone of the vegetated wetland, and then also within the bordering land subject to flooding. So.
We can't determine that until he
We-
hires a wetland scientist, correct?
Right, so it's really up to the commission if whether they're satisfied with what was removed, just assuming that everything was removed from the resource areas, or if they want him to take the next steps to hire someone to figure that out.
Was supposed to hire someone.
Right.
Correct, and,
Part of the enforcement order.
It was.
right,
So I'm going to go back to the enforcement order and say that he is to hire somebody to determine. That's my suggestion, since this is not a motion, you're just enforcing an order that's already been with.
so once we have it delineated, we'll have a better understanding of how close we are. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want him to get the floodplain marked on the site so that he can see on the site where the floodplain would be? That might require a surveyor or,
I don't think we need that. I think we need to make the determination of what scientist. And he does have erosion controls up, correct?
right.
Okay.
Now, about the complaint, the burying the material, I don't really know how I can tell if material was buried on site at this point.
That'd be hard to prove,
Right.
but we are taking steps to rectify, you know, so it's not like we're leaving it unaddressed, we're just doing what we can with what we have in front of us.
Okay,
Is that good?
then I can talk to him and let him know.
Okay.
Do you want a date? Do you want to set a date of when this needs to be done, or?
I would give him 60 days.
Okay.
Is the homeowner responsive to you? Okay, so that's great. As long as we're in communication, we can.
Yep.
Okay. Great. Okay, next item on the agenda is an emergency certification ratification, Beaver Solutions LLC, 35 April's Way, map 30, lot 52. It's pretty cut and dry, Stefania.
Yep.
Make that motion to certify the Beaver Solutions at 35.
Okay, can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the Local Housing Partnership Designee.
So we continued this last time because Steve wasn't here. I think at some point, we're going to need to designate someone.
I think we have, his term, I thought his term wasn't up until the end of June.
No, it's different for these.
Appointees?
Yeah. So this was April, so now it's expired at this point.
Did we ever reach out to Steve and see if he were interested in continuing? That ship sailed?
Yeah, I didn't ask him that.
Okay. You think that's still an option? Should we give him that option and
I
reach
can,
out explicitly?
I can call again and ask
Okay.
him.
So to designate him, we'd have to continue again.
Yeah.
Right.
Is everybody comfortable with that? Do you want to give him the chance to
Absolutely.
speak on that? Okay. All right. So why don't we continue that to May 15th? Is that agreeable? Okay. All right, next item on the agenda is a Wetlands Protection Fund request. Richard Montori.
So this is for the review that we're doing for the fire station. So Bill Manuel has been reviewing the fire station. So they did come in and ask for some money at the beginning, but we do need additional funds. So right now they are requesting 3,000 more.
I have no issues with that.
I have done. I'll make that motion to approve.
Get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have old business. New business,
Nothing.
administrators report,
Nope.
and can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.